Let's stop and think, my people. Long ago, in the land of Judah, the people of God had turned away from his commands. Despite many warnings from the prophets, they persisted in rebellion, idolatry, and corruption. Answer: the judgment of the Lord came upon them. In the 3rd year of the reign of Jehoiakim, king of Judah, the mighty Babylonian army, led by King Nebuchadnezzar, besieged Jerusalem. The city fell, and many of the treasures from the house of God were carried away to Babylon, along with the best and brightest of the young men from royal and noble families. Among those taken was a young man named Daniel. Daniel, along with his friends Hananiah, Mishael, and Azariah, was chosen to be trained in the language and literature of the Chaldeans. The king ordered that they be given daily portions of rich food and wine from his table. But Daniel resolved in his heart not to defile himself with the king's food. He requested permission to eat only vegetables and drink water. At the end of 10 days, their appearance was healthier and better nourished than any of the young men who ate the royal food. And God gave them knowledge and understanding in every kind of wisdom and literature. But to Daniel alone, he gave the ability to interpret dreams and visions. In the 2nd year of Nebuchadnezzar's reign, the king was troubled by a dream. His spirit was disturbed, and sleep left him. He summoned his magicians, sorcerers, and wise men and demanded they tell him both the dream and its interpretation, or face death. But none could reveal it. When the decree to kill all the wise men went out, Daniel sought time from the king. He returned to his house and urged his friends to seek mercy from God concerning the mystery. That night, the secret was revealed to Daniel in a vision. Then Daniel praised the God of heaven, saying, "Blessed be the name of God forever and ever. He changes times and seasons. He gives wisdom to the wise. He reveals deep and hidden things." Daniel stood before the king and declared, "There is a God in heaven who reveals mysteries. He has made known to the king what will take place." He described the king's dream in detail: a colossal statue with a head of gold, chest of silver, belly of bronze, legs of iron, and feet of iron and clay. A stone cut without hands struck the statue and shattered it, and the stone became a great mountain that filled the whole earth. Daniel explained, "You, O king, are the head of gold. After you shall arise other kingdoms, inferior to yours. But in the days of those kings, the God of heaven will set up a kingdom that shall never be destroyed." Astonished, King Nebuchadnezzar fell on his face before Daniel and acknowledged the greatness of his God. He made Daniel ruler over the entire province of Babylon and placed him over all the wise men. Later, Nebuchadnezzar set up a massive golden image and commanded all people to bow down to it. But Daniel's friends, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, refused. They stood firm, declaring that they would not worship any god but the Lord, even if it meant death. In fury, the king ordered the furnace to be heated 7 times hotter and commanded that the 3 be thrown into it. The fire was so intense that it killed the soldiers who threw them in. But inside the flames, a 4th figure appeared, one who looked like a divine being. The king was amazed. "Shadrach, Meshach, Abednego, servants of the Most High God, come out." They emerged unharmed. Not a hair singed, not a thread burned, not even the smell of fire on them. Nebuchadnezzar praised the god and issued a decree honoring him. Years passed. One night, Nebuchadnezzar had another dream: a great tree, tall and strong, providing shelter to animals and birds. Then a voice from heaven ordered the tree cut down. Its mind changed from that of a man to that of a beast. Once again, none could interpret the dream but Daniel. "The tree," Daniel said, "is you, O king. You will be driven from among men and live with the beasts. You will eat grass like cattle until you acknowledge that the Most High rules the kingdoms of men." A year later, as the king walked on the roof of his palace and boasted of his power, the voice from heaven spoke. His kingdom departed from him, and he was driven away, living like a beast. But when he lifted his eyes to heaven and praised the Lord, his sanity was restored. Nebuchadnezzar blessed the Most High and declared, His kingdom is everlasting, and his dominion endures from generation to generation. After Nebuchadnezzar, his son Belshazzar became king. One night during a great feast, he brought out the sacred vessels taken from the temple in Jerusalem. He and his guests drank from them while praising idols of gold and silver. Suddenly, a mysterious hand appeared and wrote on the wall, Mene, Mene, Tekel, Upharsin. Terror filled the hall. No one could read or interpret the writing. But the queen remembered Daniel, who was known for insight and wisdom. Daniel was summoned. He stood fearlessly before the king and rebuked him. You have not humbled your heart, though you knew all this. You have lifted yourself against the Lord of heaven. He read the words and interpreted them. Mene, God has numbered your days and brought them to an end. Tekel, you have been weighed and found wanting. Perez, your kingdom is divided and given to the Medes and Persians. That very night, Belshazzar was killed, and Darius the Mede took the kingdom. Now under King Darius, Daniel was preferred above all the governors because of the excellent spirit in him. The king planned to set him over the entire realm. But the other officials were filled with envy. They could find no fault in Daniel, except in matters concerning his God, so they devised a trap. They convinced King Darius to sign a decree stating that for 30 days, no one could pray to any god or man except the king. The law of the Medes and Persians could not be altered. But Daniel, when he learned of the decree, went into his house, opened his windows toward Jerusalem, and prayed, just as he had always done. His enemies caught him in the act and reported him to the king. Darius was distressed and tried to save Daniel, but the law was unchangeable. So Daniel was cast into the den of lions. The king said, May your God, whom you serve continually, deliver you. That night, Darius could not eat or sleep. At dawn, he hurried to the lion's den and cried out, Daniel, servant of the living God, has your God delivered you? Daniel answered, O king, live forever. My God sent his angel and shut the lions' mouths. They have not hurt me, because I was found innocent before him, and before you. Overjoyed, the king commanded that Daniel be lifted out. No wound was found on him, for he had trusted in his God. Then those who had accused Daniel were thrown into the den. The lions overpowered them before they reached the floor. King Darius issued a decree to all nations and languages, saying, I make a decree that everyone must fear and reverence the God of Daniel. For he is the living God, enduring forever. His kingdom shall never be destroyed, and his dominion shall be without end. As Daniel grew older, God gave him visions of the future. In one vision, he saw 4 great beasts rising from the sea, representing kingdoms of men. But then came the Ancient of Days, seated on a fiery throne. The books were opened, and judgment began. Then Daniel saw one like the Son of Man, coming with the clouds of heaven. To him was given dominion, glory, and a kingdom that would never pass away. In another vision, Daniel saw a ram with 2 horns, and then a male goat with 1 prominent horn that struck the ram and shattered it. The angel Gabriel explained that these represented the empires of Media, Persia, and Greece. He also spoke of a fierce king who would arise and desecrate the temple, but he would be broken, not by human hand. These visions troubled Daniel, but he remained faithful, praying and fasting. In the book of Jeremiah, he read that the exile would last 70 years. He turned to God in prayer and repentance, confessing the sins of his people. O Lord, he cried, we have sinned and done wrong. To us belongs shame, but to you, mercy. As he prayed, the angel Gabriel appeared to him and revealed a greater prophecy, of 77s. Within this time, sin would be ended, righteousness would be established, and the Anointed One would come. Daniel was told, seal up the vision, for it concerns the time of the end. You will rest, and then you will rise to receive your inheritance at the end of the days. Though Daniel never returned to Jerusalem, he remained a faithful servant to God in a foreign land, through empires and rulers, through visions and trials. His life was a testimony to what it means to walk in obedience, integrity, and faith in the Most High God. His legacy echoes through the ages. that in the midst of a hostile world, those who know the God shall stand firm and do great exploits. Thank you for watching Tales by Dan Sophia. Do well to subscribe, like, comment and share to others.